Hey guys, working on the new carrier rooftop unit. This particular model, but this one here is cutting out on main limit switch. You have to manually reset it. So I wanted to show you how to adjust these blower speeds because that was the issue. So first thing you have to do is you have to hook up your dual port manometer. I'm using the field piece. Had it for about 3 years, works great. So I got one going in the return plenum. Got the other one in supply plenum. So let's get to the tricky part. So with these, as you can see, here's a little blower chart. I've already done it, so I've already wrote down all my readings. As you can see here though, probably wondering what the CFM should be. If you look in the manual, it'll tell you different models and what the CFM should be. But if we go back over to the model number, this one says A06. A06. So if you come back over here, you can see 48fcea or B06, which we have an A06, so we want to shoot for 2000 CFM. So next thing you have to do is, as you can see here, for 2000 CFM, you have to first see what your external static pressure is. So when I first started, mine was 0.6. So I originally was going to shoot for the 8.7. So the next thing you would do is this little dial here. That's going to actually increase your volts, your volt DC going to the indoor fan motor. So in order to check that, there's these two spades here. So you can see I've got 8.2. And just assume I still have my leads right here, but I need to put it down so I can show you guys. As you can see here, if you go, there's a little white arrow telling you what you're set for. This one, when I first got here, was at 50, and this here was on B. And then if you pay attention here, you got this 5-pin dip switch. Number 1 is what we're focusing on. That one was set to off, but if you're wondering what on and off means, if it's set to off, that indicates that you have more than 1 inch water column total external static pressure. But in our case, I had 0.6. So I turned it to the on, which is the setting for if it's reading below 1 inch water column. So first thing I did is I flipped that switch to on, and then I still had it at 50, and I still had it set for B, and I was getting about 7.5 volts DC with 0.6. So if you see here, that's around 0.6, and the 7.5 is anywhere between 1500 and 1625 CFM, but we want 2000. So what I had to do is I already had that dip switch set to on, and I went over here and I moved this from 50, and I went all the way down to the 100, and then I checked my voltage DC, and the highest I could go was like 7.6, 7.7. So the next thing I did was I jumped this from B to C, and then my voltage went all the way to 8.2. But then you can't forget to go back to your manometer and check the static pressure, because I was started off with a 0.6, but after I adjusted all these settings here, my static pressure went to 0.45. So 2000 CFM, I was getting 0.4, and we wanted to shoot for around, you know, 8.1, and I'm getting 8.2, and that's the highest I could go. So after I did that, let the system run for about 20-30 minutes in heating mode, and it no longer cut out on the main limit thermal overload. Before I did this, it was cutting out about every 3 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, please leave some comments. And I do apologize for the shaky hand. I am going to be getting a better setup as far as the camera goes, so please bear with me. And I hope this helps. Thank you.